Because it's F.I.R.P. is the best podcast because it stars you and me. Because it's FIRP. Recording on Wednesdays. It's a free podcast, which means you don't have to pay. Because it's FIRP. Because it's FIRP. Season 2, everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to FIRP.
FIRP!
Yay. FIRP, of course. What does FIRP stand for?
Philippians.
Philippians with an F, okay.
Philippians eradicated
With an I
radical
instead.
protesters. Yeah, Philippians eradicated radical protesters.
That's not how you spell Philippians or eradicated. Okay.
That was side. Well, welcome back to FIRP, everybody.
Yes.
It's been a while. It
has.
4 months or so.
Let me double check.
It's been a long time. We haven't recorded FIRP since, I think, April. I want to say April. Maybe it was May. Definitely not in June. I'm pretty sure we didn't do any in June. But yeah, we took... The break just kind of happened. It wasn't really even something we discussed. It was just like we were both getting ready to move. And so it was like, we're just going to stop. And school was ending. And so it was really chaotic.
Yes.
It was
Sorry,
just something that happened.
I'm typing in to try and get... Dang it.
Date we recorded.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, welcome back to FIRP. We've missed this. I think part of the reason I decided to take a break was I was thinking about this the other day. Is you could hear our descent into madness through that series, the first season. It's just episode 1, welcome to FIRP, and then it just goes. This last episode, we're like, what are we doing with our lives? What are we doing? So we just needed a break to kind of figure out what we're doing, and we've changed nothing. So we'll see how crazy it gets this season.
Well, yeah, hopefully season 2 will be a little bit more, let me see, how do I want to say this? Organized?
Organized, yeah. I actually
season 1.
wrote down topics for today.
Hey, episode 8 still has 0 views after all
Are
this
you
time.
serious?
Yes.
This is amazing. I thought that was going to happen. I'm like, how much you bet that some of the videos don't even have views? It's
anyway,
amazing.
It is season 2. And I'm making a new intro song, and you would have already heard it.
You would have already heard it.
And hopefully a new thumbnail thing, or like a new...
Yeah, a new thumbnail thing.
Because otherwise, how are you going to know that season 2?
Differentiate, yeah. We don't even have to write season 2 in the title. You can just change the thumbnail.
Yes.
And then you know it's different season.
I think that's something we're going to do every single time. We start a new season. We got to start figuring out how many episodes we're going to do per season, and also...
Probably 11 or 12. I think we did 11 last season.
Yeah. And let's see.
Yeah,
since we released one a week on or off, it was like 2 months worth of episodes. 3 months. Yeah. So, let's see. Last podcast was released on May 14th, 2020.
Oh my gosh.
That's so long ago.
That was June, July.
That's like
it's been 3 or 4 months.
It's 3 months ago, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
All right.
It felt a lot. If I'm being honest, it felt a lot longer, but that's still a long time.
That's ridiculous.
We just went through like so much because of all the moving.
Yeah.
So how's college? How's the campus? I know you haven't started classes yet, but how's campus?
It's good. I like it. All the guys in my hall are really, really nice. And I don't want to say too many details because I don't want to dox myself. But it's been a good experience so far.
You don't want to dox yourself for our 0 listeners.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Season 2 will be more popular than season 1. Let's make it more popular.
Yes, make FIRP great again.
Make FIRP great again. We should make a season title for like each season.
Make FIRP great again.
Make FIRP great again.
The thumbnail is just going to be the MAGA hat, but it says FIRP on it.
Yes.
That's great. I want to make those. I want one of those now.
Dude.
MAGA hat that says make FIRP great again.
Yes. I want FIRP merch, honestly. I would buy FIRP
It's called FIRP.
FIRP.
It's called FIRP.
Anyways, this is all besides the point. This is not the main topic of the
No,
episode.
it's definitely not. But we can get to the main topic a little later. I have a few written down. It doesn't have to go in any specific order. So you're in Ohio. I'm not gonna say where in Ohio, but you're in Ohio. And
yes.
I'm in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to find you than it is to find me because my state is 4 times the size of your state.
That is true. That is definitely true.
Yeah.
So sweet.
Yeah. But so you're doing, what are you doing in college? I forgot what you were studying.
I am doing audio production and radio broadcasting. So this is kind of like practice for that. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and then once Jair graduates from college, our show will be super famous. We'll have 2 views on episode 8.
Instead of just 0.
Instead of 0, we'll have 2. Jair's degree is going to do that for us.
Yes. Yeah, because everybody knows as soon as you get a college degree, everything you make is suddenly more popular.
Oh yeah. 2 times more popular, but 0 times 2 is still 0.
Right.
So what's Ohio like now with all the stuff going on?
So there's some regulations on campus. Like we cannot. We have to wear masks everywhere, even outside, unless we're like 6 feet apart from everybody. And there's none of the self-service restaurants, which is sad because they used to have a little stand where you could grill whatever you want and put it together.
Aww.
And I wanted to do that, but that's fine.
Oh well.
So yeah, it's not terrible. Like I'm glad I could still be on campus. I don't have to do everything online. But
yeah.
But what is Texas like?
Texas is interesting right now.
Yeah.
Because the day we flew in, we lived in Prague and we took a train to Dresden, stayed there for a few days, and took a train to Frankfurt, and we flew out of Frankfurt and flew to Washington, D.C. That was our layover, was in Washington. Then from Washington, we flew to Dallas. And the day we flew into Dallas was the day they were talking about shutting Texas down again, closing everything and doing another quarantine. And so I was like, please, no, don't let this be the day where I had to stay in my house again.
Jeez.
And they decided not to shut it down, I'm pretty sure, because it's been a month and still they haven't shut it down.
Yikes.
But yeah, we flew in, so that was pretty crazy. You have to wear a mask pretty much everywhere, except for like being outside. If you're going into a store, you have to wear a mask. There's other places I haven't been to a lot of places, but they make you wear masks everywhere. I went to a place called Main Event. I don't know if it's in more than just Texas, but I've only seen it in Texas. And they made you wear your mask the whole time, with like one exception of eating.
In Main Event,
I know, and it was a bowling alley, pool, laser tag, mini golf. Your mask the whole time.
That sounds terrible.
It was rough. We were there for like 5 hours, and it just was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy, but it's crazy everywhere right now.
It really is. So yeah, that's how things are going, I guess.
So you're in your dorm right now?
I am in my dorm room right now. The acoustics in here are not great, and
I'm in my grandfather's office, so
so still getting transitioned. Hopefully, I will be able to put up some like foam with some command strips or something. I can't drill into the wall, obviously, but I might be able to stick some foam on the walls eventually. Yeah. That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice. I have boxes and boxes of foam that I bought last September and never used because we didn't know how to put them on the walls because the walls in Prague concrete, they're stone.
Yeah.
So you can't really drill into a wall or nail something into a wall. it's a wall. You can't do anything.
It's such a pain
So
to do anything there.
it's the worst. So we have this giant box of acoustic foam, and I'm like, okay, we can put it in here, nail it to the wall. But I was helping my aunt move in to her new apartment, and I was with my grandmother, and we were trying to put up a shelf. And the way they make them is it's like this weird hook thing that you hammer the nail through, and then it like spreads out into the wall.
Okay.
The wall was weird, and the thing was made out of plastic, like the little hook that spreads out. And instead of giving us a screw, they gave us a nail. So I ruined the shelf in the wall. That's what I'm trying to get at. I completely screwed it up.
They gave you an anchor for a nail?
It's like, it's like this. I don't even know how to describe it. It's this little hook that you hang the shelf on.
Yeah,
usually it's a screw that goes through.
Yeah, I think you're talking about an anchor, but I don't know why you would put a nail. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, anyway.
I know it does not make any sense. So I couldn't get it to go into the wall, and so what we did is we took a knife and a screwdriver, kind of like poked holes in the wall and reamed it so we could get it to fit. And so there was just these massive holes in the wall, and the screws would not go, the nails would not go in. So the shelf was just kind of hanging on the wall. It wasn't even working. And my uncle had to come in and fix it for us.
Very nice.
I was like, if you need some holes in your wall, you know who to call.
Definitely not you. I'm not calling you if I need any holes in my wall.
I'm really good at it. I can put holes in your wall. They're going to be completely useless.
But I want holes that are useful in my wall. I want something to hang in.
No.
I don't want just random
useless
holes.
Ones. I don't want your random holes.
Oh, gosh.
That's such a weird thing to say.
I never want to say that again.
Oh, no. But it's going to turn into merch, I'm calling it.
I don't want random holes.
I don't want your random holes. But yeah, I'm at my grandparents' house, so that's great. They've got 2 dogs. One of them's Chihuahua, and the other one's a mix. It's a Chihuahua and a something else, but they're cute. When was it? A few days ago. I can't remember, but I don't think I told you this actually. I had to go to the ER. What day was it? It was Tuesday. So coming up on a week. On Tuesday, I had to go to the ER at about like 9 o'clock in the morning because we went fishing. My sister, my grandfather, and me. We went fishing, and we got up at 6, so it was really early. The sun hadn't even come up yet. Went to my grandfather's friend's pond, fished for a little bit, and then I think we were like, 30 minutes in. I had caught 3 fish, so I was on a roll. Like, it was a good day for fishing. My head just started hurting, like, instantly. My vision went blurry. I couldn't hear. And so I was like, okay, I'm not feeling great. So I sat down on the dock, I took a couple sips of water, and I'm like, I'm going to pass out. And I didn't have enough strength or energy to say, hey, guys, I'm going to pass out. I'm going to go sit down up here. I had to choose what I was going to use my strength for. Either it was pass out on the dock and possibly fall into the water unconscious, which is never a good idea.
Nope.
Or and use my strength to say, hey, I'm going to pass out, or walk off the dock and go sit down in the shade up on the shore and then not say anything. So I was kind of like, I'm going to go sit down. And I walked up, sat in the chair, and just boom, I was out.
Yes.
I was out for about 5 minutes. I was unconscious for about 5 minutes until my sister finally goes, I'm going to go check on Peyton. So she walks up the dock, goes onto the shore, and at this point, I'm conscious. I can't open my eyes. I can't move. I can't speak, but I can hear.
Oh.
So I'm sitting there,
Yikes.
And my sister's poking my cheek, going, Peyton, wake up. Are you asleep? Peyton, wake up. I'm like, I couldn't say anything. So I was like, no, I'm not asleep. And she's like, I'm going to go tell Papa. And if you're faking it, you're going to be in trouble. I'm like, she's threatening me and I'm unconscious.
Wow.
If you don't wake up, you're faking it. You're gonna get in trouble. And so she goes down and gets my grandfather. He comes up, kind of, like, I don't know, shakes me around, and he's like, Peyton, you okay? And I was like, I made like sudden movements, but they weren't like under my control. And I had been out probably about 8 minutes at this time, 6 or 8 minutes. So my sister was like, okay, so my grandfather is not a big cell phone person. He doesn't carry a cell phone with him. He has one.
Yeah.
He never takes it with him anywhere. And so I took my cell phone in case there was an emergency. But of course, I'm the one who had the emergency. So my sister knew I had a cell phone, takes my cell phone out of my pocket, goes to the emergency thing, and she can't type in any number that isn't an emergency number. She tries calling my grandmother, but it doesn't work. So I'm thinking there, since I can hear, I'm conscious, I can hear, but I can't do anything, and I'm thinking, fingerprint on it. I can take my finger and open a phone and call somebody. Neither of them knew that. So I'm just sitting there like, you could call somebody. Put it against my thumb. Put it against my thumb. But she didn't. And so they're like, all right, if we can't get him to the car, we're going to have to call an ambulance. But there was like no way for the ambulance to get out there because it was like the middle of nowhere. So carried me. I was starting to come to at this point where I could start walking. So I helped them walk me to the car. So I got in the car. And then as soon as we got in the car, I was able to open my eyes and actually see, but I couldn't talk yet. I was slowly, starting to regain my energy and stuff. So I'm sitting there. We drive to the hospital. As soon as my grandfather goes to get a wheelchair and tell him what's going on, I'm sitting in the car, and I was able to say something. I don't remember what I said, but it was really like, I don't know. It wasn't like, oh, hey, yeah, no, I'm okay. It was like, blah, 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 blah. I sounded like Darth Sidious, basically.
Okay, nice. Do it.
Do it. Yeah, those were my first words.
No. You start to wake up. And you go, the powers from the dark side that you would never believe. Wait, what's the quote? Gosh dang it. The dark side of the force holds power that some consider to be unnatural.
So great. I just open my eyes and say, have you ever heard of the tale of Darth Plagueis? It just turns into Star Wars 3.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
Yes.
my grandfather comes out with the wheelchair, and some nurses are there. They give me a mask. They're like, you got to wear this mask. So they take me inside, and they ask my sister a bunch of questions because my grandfather doesn't know anything about me, really. I mean, I haven't lived here that long. So my birthday, I think he knows my birthday, but he doesn't quite know my age. He doesn't know how tall I am. He doesn't know how much I weigh. He doesn't know a lot of my personal information since I've grown up away from them.
Right.
So my sister gave him all the information, and they couldn't figure out my birthday. Landry didn't know my birthday. He knew my age, but not my birthday. Like, how hard is it to remember? So since they couldn't figure it out, Landry couldn't tell them. They wheeled me up to the front, and they're like, "What's your birthday?" I was like, "It's January something something." I'm not going to say it on here, but this is my birthday. And it's really easy to remember birthday, in my opinion. I don't know for any other people, but it's such small numbers that it's easy to remember. And since it's my birthday, it's easy to remember.
Oh, yeah, but you can usually remember your own birthday.
I've forgotten my birthday one time. I said it was a different day than it actually was. I was like, wait a minute, that's not right. In the hospital, thankfully, I said the right birthday.
Okay, good.
And so then they needed to get my weight. I had to stand up. And I had lost, I think, like 6 pounds. I weighed like 109 instead of my usual like 115.
Ooh.
So I was like, oh, that's new. Something's not right there. And I had been eating. I even ate breakfast that morning. I never eat breakfast. Especially, it was like Raisin Bran. And I'm not a huge fan of that, but I ate it because it's what they had.
Yeah.
So they wheel me to the ER, take me into the room. They do a blood test. I take a urine sample. They did an X-ray, I want to say. They did an EKG. I think they did EKG. And so all of that, they took me to another room because my sister had my phone, have any entertainment, and that room didn't have a TV. So they're like, we're going to take you to another room so that way you have a TV. Because that's top priority of the ER.
Right.
You're going to have a TV.
Yeah.
It's like, thank you. In Prague, they'd just be like, all right, wait here for 6 hours while we get these tests processed. Nothing. No Wi-Fi, no TV. You're in the room with, they're screaming babies down the hall. But no. And, like, there was nobody at the ER. Like, no patients, really. I didn't see anything. They weren't freaking out over COVID. They just asked, hey, have you been in contact with anyone with COVID? I said, no. They said, have you been out of the country? I said, yeah, I grew up, in Prague. We moved over here about a month ago. But, no, I've been here 14 days and I haven't shown any symptoms, so I probably don't have it. So they didn't test me for COVID since there was no point and I wasn't showing symptoms.
Right.
So they moved me to a room. My dad comes in, and since they couldn't get my phone to open, they had to drive home to my grandparents' house where we were all staying. Tell them that I was in the hospital. My grandfather comes in and says, well, we only had to take one of your kids. The classic pop joke. And then he's like, no, really, Peyton's in the ER. And they're like, eh? They still thought we were kind of joking. And he's like, no, he's in the ER. They're like, oh, okay. And so my dad drives up.
Just,
and
shoot.
You're like, hey.
Lame.
Yeah. And so, by the way, the TV they had like exactly 25 channels.
I mean, it's not terrible. It's not a lot.
They should start putting Netflix in hospitals because, my goodness, I'm 16. All that was on there were kids channels and the news and sports. And I'm like, I don't care about any of this stuff.
Hey, man.
I want to watch, The Office or something.
Hey, man, don't diss kids channels. Sometimes they got good cartoons on there.
But I don't want the nurses and doctors to come in while a 16-year-old kid is watching freaking Disney Channel.
Hey man.
Hey man. Although you're 19 and you're watching Disney Channel in your dorm room at college.
Shut up! I'm 18. That's incorrect.
Shut up! I'm 18. So I find a channel. It's ESPNU, and so it shows like university stuff. But since sports aren't really going on right now, except for baseball and hockey. It's showing like previous games.
No.
So it's games from last year. And so I was watching, I don't even remember who it was. I think it was Oklahoma versus Tennessee in NCAA football. So then my dad came in and so he's like, what'd you do? I was like, well, I was on the dock fishing and I passed out. Hooked me up with IV. And IV makes you really cold. Have you ever had an IV?
Yeah, IV is just, I don't like IVs.
I hate them so much. I could feel it when they put it in. I could feel the coldness going through my veins. Yeah. I thought it was like leaking out, but I could just feel it in my veins. And I'm like, I don't like this. It's so cold in there.
First time I got my surgery, they had my IV, but they took one of the syringes and they pumped a bunch of like antibacterial stuff in there. And it was really cold and it expanded my vein and it was so uncomfortable. I was like, this is disgusting. I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. I don't want to do that.
So, to remember what happened next. So they did the IV thing. It was very strange. So it's hard to remember because I was just sitting there chilling like, this is new. I don't think I've ever been in the ER. I've been to the hospital, but not the ER. Yeah. So they're pumping me with fluids. And then they come in and change the IV and put another bag in. So that was already a liter of fluids. And so we started to catch on of what happened. But we're watching, football. It was actually a really good game. I was really impressed.
Well, that's great.
I was actually like, oh, yeah, they scored.
Even though it was a game from a year ago.
There's nothing else for me to do. Yeah, it was last year. So there was nothing else for me to do. Trying to think. Let's see. Football. Okay, I think the doctor comes in and he's like, so have you had any water? I was like, well, I had a few sips before I passed out. And he's like, I mean, in the past week. I'm like, well, yeah, every now and then. And, like a bottle or two a day. He's like, yeah, you basically had no water in your system the past, day.
Oh,
But there was nothing. Like, I had zero fluid in my body. That's why I was going through so much IV. They pumped me with like 2.5 liters of fluid.
Oh my gosh.
Which is a ridiculous amount. That's buying a giant Coke bottle and putting that in my veins.
And that, everybody, is why you drink your water. But
Thanks for joining us on FIRP. Yeah.
The only educational podcast that has, I don't know, that I couldn't think
of so yeah, they're like, hydrate, blah 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 blah. So, but my whole family knew about this. We didn't really make it like public. Like, no one was posting on Facebook. Payne's in the ER. So we just kind of told family, like, hey. So they're like, oh, what happened? Like, oh, he's dehydrated. Every time I see somebody who knows about it, they go, son, you need to understand you're in Texas and it's hot. I'm like, no, duh, it's hot. I know it's hot. I'm in Europe. It doesn't make me dumb. It's like, I don't know what a lot of American things are, but I know what heat is.
Okay, I heard like one sentence from the last 10 seconds because he sounded like a robot. But I kind of understood what you were saying. Just because I'm from Europe doesn't mean I'm stupid.
Yeah. They're like, you need to understand that it's hot. I'm like, I'm aware it's hot.
I know.
It's not like heat doesn't exist where I'm from. Like, right. I bet you don't even drink 5 bottles of water a day, which I do now. And it's crazy the amount of times I have to go to the bathroom throughout the day.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into it because this is family friendly.
Family friendly podcast.
It's a lot. It's ridiculous.
Okay. Yep.
But yeah, that's my week. How was your week?
Probably less eventful than that. I did not go to the ER. I've had plenty of water. Yeah, no, it's just getting used to college life now. I don't have any siblings, and so living with a dorm mate is a little bit strange. Not a dorm mate, a roommate. Is a little bit strange. But, you go to camps every once in a while, so you get that sort of experience. Yeah. But, it's a little bit different having someone else in your room for the rest of the year.
I mean, I was at your house, 90% of the school year.
It's kind of true. But, yeah. But my week was definitely less eventful than that. Nothing really worth talking about. Although I ordered my books and they still haven't come, and I'm kind of frustrated. But that's besides the point.
Yeah. Books are dumb.
Also, okay, I will say I have an evening class from 7 to 9:30 p.m. every Tuesday.
Wow.
2.5 hour class online in the evening every Tuesday.
Gosh.
I hope that's just a semester class. I hope I don't have to do that the rest of the year.
That's ridiculous. My brother and my sister-in-law went to get their LTC training yesterday, so they're licensed to concealed carry. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not like a rite of passage in Texas. It's more of like, I'm a little scared, especially when you get married. It's like, I want to protect my wife or my husband. So they have guns. I'll say they have 2 pistols. They're not crazy gun owners. They're not like, oh, I have an AK-47 and blah blah blah. I'm not going to get into gun control stuff. No. So they were getting their license stuff, and they had to be there at 6:00 in the morning, and it wasn't over until 3:00 in the afternoon.
That sounds terrible.
It's ridiculous. Though it makes sense. You got to know what you're doing if you're going to carry a gun place.
they can't
if
just
you're carrying a gun, no. Yeah.
You can't just give a gun to anybody. But
Like the dude that they had teaching them was like, so you've passed the test, but you cannot go carry your gun now. It's not like a driver's license. You don't get like a learner's permit for carrying your gun. You have to wait till you get the license and it comes through. So they're waiting for their license now. But yeah, so that's just it's only a 1-day class, so it's not like I have to go every day from 6 to 3. Still 6 to 3.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd rather have like 45 minutes a day for a week than do that.
Then do 6 to 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's necessary. It's definitely necessary.
Mm-hmm. So
anyway,
that's cool.
Off of guns. Yeah, off of guns.
Oh wait, actually, I got to shoot some guns.
Really?
That was fun. I went to a shooting range with my grandfather, and he had.
Get back on guns. Yeah, what did y'all shoot?
He had a 22 cal revolver and a 38 caliber revolver. It was a Colt. It was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was fun. There were guys, dude.
Classic.
There were guys there that were bringing. There were guys there that were bringing their sniper rifles and their hunting rifles, and some guy had like an AK-47 and a 74 or something like that. I was.
Yeah.
And they're so loud. They're so loud.
They are so loud.
I was standing halfway across the range with earmuffs on so that it wasn't as loud as it was. And every time they shot, I like jerked and turned towards them. Every single time.
It's loud.
Yeah.
Just imagine soldiers doing that. Front lines, they have to shoot their gun a lot. And they don't really have ear protection.
Sometimes without ear protection, yeah, because they still have to hear each other.
Deafening. It's deafening.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Also, I love, something was pointed out to me the other day. So legally, you can buy AR-15s, AK-47s, AK-74s. You can buy quote-unquote military-grade weapons.
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot buy fully automatic guns. You can't buy those. Only very rarely can somebody buy a fully automatic weapon.
Okay.
So I loved hearing politicians and people say assault weapons, assault rifles, automatic rifles used in these shootings. I'm like, do you know what an automatic rifle is? And they always say,
I think, Yeah. Anyway, no need to talk about guns for the rest of the episode.
I just think guns are cool.
We have another topic to talk about, one that is music related. At least if you don't have any other stuff that you want to talk about before we get there.
Nope. The only thing left on my notes is music. So.
Okay, sweet. So let's do that.
Let's do it.
Let's switch from guns to music.
Guns to music. That's my life right there. Guns to music.
So, Peyton, why don't you tell them what we're doing here?
Okay, so for a while now, I've been trying to compile a list of what I think are the greatest songs ever written. Not necessarily my favorite songs, though they probably are. They're just the best songs that I think that music has ever brought to the table. So, things that I think, pushed music forward, things that I think are timeless and will never get old, that I think are just amazing songs that are kind of, not recognized everywhere, and they're usually older songs, not like this century, usually, the 20th century. I think they're actually all from the 20th century on my list. So you're not going to see a lot of classical music on my list. Aww. It's going to be, I know, I'm a huge classical fan now. It's mostly, rock and stuff like that, rock and roll, stuff that pushed it forward.
Yeah. I think
that's when rock was developing.
In the last century, music has changed the most, so it's easy to write a lot of rock songs down.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, so many genres came out of the 20th century. Like, you got secular R&B, like gospel, like Ray Charles and stuff. You've got, funk making a huge thing. Rock came out of there. Metal, all of that. 20th century. Jazz, even jazz, around that time.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But, so we each compiled a list of 5 songs that we think are the greatest songs ever written. I think I started last time when we did a music list, so I'm gonna let Jair start this time because I spent like 30 minutes explaining mine last time, but it's only 5 songs this time instead of 10 albums.
Yes. We're not doing a top 10 list, we're doing a top 5 list. Or just, you can't just narrow, okay, that's who wrote it. You can't just narrow all of the songs down to 5 that were impactful. I just wrote down 5 that I immediately recognized and I think pushed music forward.
Yeah.
So, first one. This one is one that's immediately recognizable by anyone who hears it. The rhythm is so simple and yet so recognizable. Everybody knows what you're doing. It's "We Will Rock You" by Queen.
Yes, that is a classic.
There's no way that you haven't heard at least the rhythm before.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
So,
and if you don't know what "We Will Rock You" is, you will learn very quickly.
yeah. Queen did so much for music. Like, even, looking at Bohemian Rhapsody, I know it's super overplayed and a great song, but who would think to mix opera and make it work?
Yeah, true.
Ridiculous.
My second one, my dad came up with this, and I went, "Yeah, that's true." Is what pioneered the rock and roll genre. "Rock Around the Clock" is such a classic. It's not necessarily as popular as some of the other ones, but it really pioneered the genre. So that's my second one. I didn't want to include these as 2 separate songs because I think they're written by the same guy, or at least by the same band. Because the Beatles was just so influential in general. So "I Want to Hold Your Hand" is probably one of the most popular Beatles songs.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it. And from that, John Lennon's "Imagine." Everybody knows it. I'm always surprised by everybody who knows that song.
I constantly call it communism instead of Imagine.
Yeah. It's a weird worldview, but everybody loved the song so much.
I mean, it was during a time where peace is what everyone wanted, and even now, peace is what everyone wanted, but it's not the same way. People wanted equality, blah, 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 blah. They wanted what North Vietnam was fighting for.
Yeah. So, interesting. And now, down to the classical ones. Because, these are classics. Get it? One that's immediately recognizable is Beethoven's Fifth Symphony with "Ode to Joy" as the big centerpiece. Everybody knows "Ode to Joy," and Beethoven is just such a well-known artist, and it's crazy what he was able to do while he was deaf. He had such a good knowledge of music that he could write when he was deaf. He could not hear a thing. And so that's on there. And then I can't decide between these 2. Actually, no, I can't decide. One of the greatest piano pieces ever written, "Hungarian Rhapsody" by Liszt. It's so good. And Liszt was also just a crazy good artist. I mean, he wrote some of the hardest piano pieces. If you're in the piano world, Liszt is what you aspire to play.
Yeah.
And understand. He's got so many just off the wall techniques that you wouldn't expect. So I think that pioneered the genre of piano classical music onto the 20th century, because then you get all sorts of just people trying out way different things with piano.
Oh yeah.
So that is my list. Thank you for listening. Honorable mention to "Firebird" by Igor Stravinsky.
I thought you were about to say "Fireflies" by Al City.
Honorable mention to not that. Yeah. Anyway.
Too bad "Fireflies" is on my list. No, I'm joking.
Honorable mention to "All Star" by Smash Mouth.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm getting kind of tired of that song, if I'm honest, because now white girls are starting to listen to it, and that's when you know this is not a meme song anymore.
I listened to it as an actual song when I was looking at 7.
Yeah.
When I was a lot younger, I listened to it like an actual song.
Anyway, your turn.
All right, that was a good list. Onto my
list.
list. Ha! List! Onto my songs, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go from. I kind of put them in an order, but this is just the order that I prefer to listen to them in. Like basically my favorite to least favorite, but I'll start with my least favorite. But they're still my, considered the best songs ever written in my opinion. Number 5 is "Stairway to Heaven" by Led Zeppelin. Though it is overplayed, and everyone tries learning on guitar, no one will be able to play it as well as the original 4. It is a beautiful song.
Legendary song.
It's so good. Like, it's amazing. I own it on vinyl, and that's the only way I'll listen to it is on vinyl. It's so incredible. That album, that's the only way I listen to it is on vinyl. It's the best way to listen to that album.
What are you, elitist with that?
No, it's just like, I don't know. I can't sit there with my headphones and listen to it stereo and like on it was recorded for vinyl. So that's the way I like to listen to it. I can listen to the entire thing like 4 times. But yeah, so that's my number 5. It's just a great song. Number 4 is "War Pigs" by Black Sabbath. That song, and this is when Ozzy was in Black Sabbath. So this is prime time Sabbath.
Yes.
It's just, I think it's the greatest metal song ever written. I don't know if you consider metal, but hard rock, rock and roll. I think it's the best song of that genre to be written. It's just the way it progresses and how long it is, and just from the time it's from, that how abnormal that was. Metal was just coming into existence at the time. Just groundbreaking, because now you've got thousands of metal bands out there, and Ozzy is still doing stuff. He released an album last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, he's still active.
He's still going.
Which reminds me, honorable mention to "Thunderstruck" by AC/DC, classic.
That song
and "Back in Black." Both of them are really popular.
Yeah. On
and
number
"Sweet
3,
Home Alabama."
Oh my gosh, dude. Freebird. Number 3 is a band that you probably haven't heard of, but you would know their singer if I told you stuff that he's done. It's "Just Another Day" by Oingo Boingo, and I'm pretty sure that song was in season 2 of Stranger Things. I'm pretty sure.
I've heard of Oingo Boingo before. Don't know much about them, but I've heard of them.
Have you seen the 1989 Batman movie? It's got directed by Tim Burton.
Yes.
Danny Elfman wrote the theme song of Batman for that. He's and Danny Elfman is the singer for Oingo Boingo.
Mm-hmm.
Not around anymore, but so this song, it just opens with a crazy, I think it's a xylophone. The intro is nuts, and it plays throughout, I feel like, the entire song. Just a fantastic song that I think I would recommend. When I was a kid, I loved it, so I recommend it to you.
Ooh, which reminds me, since you said xylophone, honorable mention to "Africa" by Toto.
Yes!
That's like one of the classic 80s songs, along with Take On Me. Yeah.
That song, those songs are great. I love them.
I keep interrupting for honorable mentions. I'm sorry.
But that's fine. That's fine. On number 2 is a song that is technically a meme song, but the electric version is the best version. It's just so good. It gives me goosebumps every time.
Do not
The
say
Sound of Silence.
The Sound of Silence, yes.
The Sound of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel is one of the greatest songs ever written. And I've only more recently gone, this song is fantastic.
No, it's great.
The voices are incredible. Their voices, the harmonies, they're so good. And the way they recorded it, where like the guitar is in the left ear and then the drums are in the right ear with the bass, and the vocals are also panned. I think it would annoy you, but it just makes the song even better. There's a part in there where the timing is off, and it makes me think these guys are human because they screwed up and they didn't want to fix it.
Yeah.
That's happened many a times with us. I'm just like, forget it, leave it, I'm done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep, definitely.
Sometimes I think it's awesome.
Honorable mention to "Shadow Trees," our newest single. Go check it out.
Yeah! Oh my gosh, what was that sound?
That was me sipping on some clear American cherry limeade flavored sparkling water beverage with other natural flavors. Man, this drink, clear American cherry limeade flavored sparkling water beverage with other natural flavors, I don't like it. It's not good. I thought it was going to be like a LaCroix knockoff, but it's actually just tastes like a diet soda. So if you get the chance, do not buy clear American cherry limeade flavored sparkling water beverage with other natural flavors. Do not buy it.
It sounds like a great value. You know, great value, the brand.
It is. No, it is. It
sounds like one of those where the name is literally just the description. Or it's like an Amazon product where the name is the description.
That's not really the name of the beverage, but I just like saying
yeah.
I just like saying the whole title: clear American cherry limeade flavored sparkling water beverage with other natural flavors.
I like how we went from the sound of silence to cherry limeade.
To clear American cherry limeade flavored sparkling water beverage with other natural flavors.
Oh my gosh! Now I'm gonna move to my number one.
Go.
Number one, I think, is the greatest song ever written, and the rest of this, you know, could be spread out in a different order. But this one is the greatest song ever written, in my opinion. A lot of people would think it'd be "Stairway to Heaven." Eagles.
Okay.
It's just
hold on.
The song is
we didn't actually catch it. Resay your number one pick.
Say it.
Yes.
Hotel California by the Eagles.
Good.
Good.
But yes, classic song.
It's timeless, and the guitar intro is beautiful. The lyrics are beautiful, and what it's about is beautiful. It's about, you know, a cult, being stuck in a cult, and then you want out, and then just the line, you can check out any time you like, but you can never leave. Mm-hmm. That line is just so good, and the guitar solo is so good.
I haven't been in a cult, but I have heard that is a common trope of cults, saying you can leave anytime, but we'll cut you out of our lives forever if you do.
Yeah, it's I've heard it's really hard to leave a cult because of the companionship and stuff. And even with Scientology, which I consider a cult and not a religion, but they're like, if you leave, we're stalking you for the rest of your life.
Well, because I heard what they do a lot of times in cults is they lure you into the cult, and then they start cutting off your relationships one by one, so your only relationships are in the cult, which makes it so much harder to leave, which is terrifying. That's horrifying.
Yeah.
So don't join cults, kids.
And that's what the song is about. You know, it sounds great, it's great, but then it's your life and you've lost everything, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Do not join cults. Buy clear American cherry limeade flavored sparkling water beverage with other natural flavors.
Anyway, that is my list of the greatest songs ever written, in my opinion. If you have a list of the greatest songs ever written in your opinion, you know, post them on Instagram or something, tag us, put them in the comments, anything. Yeah. To our 0 fans, if you have a greatest song list, please.
Hold on. We don't have a FIRP Instagram yet.
Oh, we don't. We have our personal ones.
I will make one, considering I'm kind of managing FIRP. I'll make a FIRP Instagram. We'll post when new episodes come out then, so go follow. I'll make sure to put it on my story, but
put it on mine too.
Yeah.
Yee.
So thanks. Is that it, or are we gonna talk about anything else?
I don't think there's anything else to talk about. That was pretty good. I've got to go eat. I'm getting hungry.
All right, but stay safe, dudes and women. Thank you for listening to FIRP, all 0 of you, and welcome to season 2. We will see you next time.
Yeah. Oh wait, I'm getting a call. There's a call. Our fans are calling us. Let me pick up, and you'll be able to hear the fan. Just Thank you, caller. Joke never gets old. It never gets old.
Hey, hold on. I hear a fan talking to me in the background. 1 second. Oh no, that's just my air conditioner. Never mind.
Just.
All right, everybody, stay calm. Not sponsored by Clear American Cherry Limeade flavored sparkling water beverage with other natural flavors. Frick, I messed it up. Clear American Cherry Limeade flavored sparkling water beverage with other natural flavors. Not sponsored, but do not buy it.
The frick, I messed it up, is actually in the title.
So, one more time. Clear American Cherry Limeade flavored sparkling water beverage with other natural flavors. Do not buy it. And thank you for listening to FIRP.
It's been FIRP. FIRP!
F.I.R.P. And it's not recorded on Wednesdays anymore. I don't think we're going to be able to. Actually, no. We should. I'm still available to record it on Wednesdays.
Okay, so, I'll try. I've just been, this is the one time I can do it because we've been traveling around everywhere recently.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But anyway, thank you. Goodbye.